When he turned his back from shoulder to shoulder, it looked like as wide as the tailgate of a truck.
And just darkness, literal darkness, just came like all over, just all over me except where I was standing.
This thing let out the most blood-curdling, mind-blowing, spine-tingling scream that you've ever heard in your life, and it cut through me like a knife.
And I knew that they were going to take me. I just knew it. And then the next thing I can remember is being levitated.
Well, when I look in there, I see two big eyes staring back at me.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Bump Podcast, a place for the believers of the unexplained, monsters, and paranormal. Join us, and we'll go face to face with what goes bump in the night.
How's it going?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Doing good, buddy. I see that West Virginia beanie.
Yeah, I wasn't going to come on here without it. I didn't know you were going to do a Zoom. I thought you were going to call me. But I was watching some of your stuff on YouTube, and I said, well, if he's going to put my mug up there, I got to have my Mountaineer cap on.
There you go. Now, look, we don't have to do the video if you don't want to. As far as sharing it goes, but this way, when I do Zoom, the sound is so much better than when I use my phone. That phone, right. Sometimes it sounds like you're in a hallway or something.
Yeah.
Well, what I usually do, I usually just let people introduce themselves. You can say where you're from or where your experience happened or whatever, and then just go. That's telemarketers calling me if you heard the phone. Then just go into whatever you want to talk about. You can start at the beginning and work your way up.
All right.
Whatever you want to do, man. It's just, the floor is yours.
Well, my name's Ted. I grew up in Boone County, which is right next to you there in Logan. I'm living in North Carolina now. I'm not sure what all you want to hear from me as far as that goes. I don't want to say, all I'm saying here is that these things happened and right. I can't explain them. I'm not saying this is, this was that, and definitely 100. I don't know what it was. I used to watch these shows, still watch them, but I used to watch them with my daughter when she was little, all these different shows, and they're entertaining. But I would always try to explain to her, that there's a lot of times this stuff can be explained. And some of these guys are just kind of scaring themselves.
Yeah.
But, I've experienced some things, a few, that I just don't know what it was. And the first thing I can remember, when I was 6 years old, our house burned down, and my dad had bought us a single wide trailer to live in while they were building our new house. And I was, it's a typical layout in this trailer. You go in through the front door. To the left is the kitchen, the hallway, and other bedrooms. To the right is another bedroom and a bathroom. So my bedroom was to the right at the end of the trailer. There were two windows, one on each side. There was no window at the end of the trailer. So my bed is along that wall with my foot pointing to one window, my head to the other. And, it was daylight. I woke up and I could smell that my mother was cooking breakfast, and I was just laying in the bed with my back to the wall, waiting on her to call me for breakfast. And I felt this hand on my shoulder, and the fingers, They felt very long, thin. And it wasn't grabbing me. It was just touching me, just laid his hand on my shoulder. And this voice said, "You don't get to go."
Mm.
And I rolled over and there's nothing there, nothing. And it freaks me out to this day.
Yeah.
And I've heard since other tales about sleep paralysis, and I sure hope that's what it was. It freaked me out. Sure did. So I mean that's I can't explain it. I don't know what it was.
Sleep paralysis shouldn't talk to you.
Well, but I've heard them say that you can hallucinate and different things like that if you're in that state.
Yeah.
But to me, I felt like I was awake. I'm in my mind, I'm sure that I was wide awake.
Yeah.
But that's probably the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, had anything happened on that property before? Like,
not that I know of.
Yeah.
The house that burned was an older house, and my dad had bought it from the family that built the house. I'm not aware of anything ever happening on that property.
Yeah. That is scary as I couldn't imagine, especially being a little kid. It'd be scary as an adult, man.
It was daylight, and Mom was right there because I didn't waste any time getting to her. But that was all that happened at that time.
Yeah.
And since I emailed you, I did happen to when you and I first started talking about doing this, I said, well, I don't really have much anything, but the more I thought about it, there are a couple things that have occurred. And in the email, I told you that there used to be some public land in Boone County, Fort Creek. It was in Nellis area, it's public hunting and fishing.
Yep.
And when we were kids, we were over there constantly hunting, fishing. There's a couple ponds over there, creeks and stuff to play in. It was probably like 83, 84, because I was in high school still. And it was gun season, deer season, so around Thanksgiving. And I was there, we were spending a week with one of my friends and his uncle. And we were hunting, and they came back that day saying that someone had been up there throwing rocks at them. We just figured, it's a hunter trying to run them out of their spot. And I don't know if it's the same day, the next day, but at some point during that week, I'm sitting on a ridge line hunting, and it's downhill in front of me, it's downhill behind me. And the old rhododendron, old laurel bushes, they're thick in there. But the ridge line is pretty clear. And I hear this cracking and popping behind me. And I turn around and I look, and I see this flat piece of shale rock about the size of a football. Maybe a quarter-inch, half-inch thick, something like that. And it's sailing through the trees. And, I can hear the bouncing off the limbs and stuff. And it came from behind me down over the hill. And I thought, somebody just chucking rocks at us. But I didn't smell nothing. I didn't see nothing. I didn't hear nothing. Just that rock coming through the trees.
Yeah.
But it kind of creeped me out a little bit. So I left. I just went back to the cabin. And I never thought anything other than that was somebody throwing a rock at me till I got older, and I started watching Finding Bigfoot, and they're talking about Bigfoot throwing rocks at people. And I think the most likely explanation is that somebody chucked a rock at me. But then there's, I've never seen a Bigfoot, never heard of Bigfoot, but I believe in the possibility that such a creature could exist, because these tales go back thousands of years. And either these people are seeing something or they're lying. And I just find it hard to believe that they're all lying.
Right.
But I mean, that was all that happened that day.
Well, I don't know. It would be nice if you could say it was just somebody throwing rocks, but I don't know who would be on public hunting, on public hunting grounds throwing rocks at people
With the gun.
Well,
with a gun.
Yeah. And it was not in the same spot they were. It was in the same kind of area, but it's a different spot on the mountain. And the height that it was coming through those trees, whoever chucked it pretty good. I mean, it wasn't a huge rock, but you had to put some force behind it to get it that high in the trees coming up the hill from where it was thrown. So,
if it was going downhill, that would be a little better, but uphill, that's a good throw, man.
Yeah. Well, no, it didn't come anywhere near me. It was off, I don't know, probably 25, 30 yards away from me. Yeah. But I could hear it bouncing off those tree limbs as it came crashing through there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there's people that in every county down here, people are starting to come out of the woodwork, talking about they're having experiences that they can't explain, whether it's paranormal or they think it's Sasquatch, or some people think it's a paranormal Sasquatch. It's hard to tell what's going on, man.
Right. Yeah, that was odd.
It would be.
But again, I didn't really think anything about it until years later. And I thought, you just wonder, if that maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, I can't remember what all I put in my email. I know I put those two stories in there.
You did.
Another one that comes to mind, and this, I don't know that I can think of anything other than this, but this happened when I was probably in my 20s, and I was working for a landscaping company in Charleston. I don't recall exactly where we'd been working that day, but me and another guy were coming back home down Brownland Road. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or not. It runs from Quarter G. You kind of pick it up around Allen Creek area, and it cuts through. It gets progressively smaller and smaller and smaller. It starts out as a 2-lane road, then it goes to a 1-lane road, then it's just tar and gravel with no lines painted on it. And it's so narrow that if two cars pass, each car's got to drop a set of wheels off the edge of the road to pass each other. There's several places, where there's turnouts where people will just pull off. But you live there, you understand how it is. Yeah. So me and this other guy, we're coming back from work, and it's probably about 6 o'clock in the evening, but it's late in the year because it's dark already. And we see a car coming at us. So I drop off, my wheels off one side of the road. This car is probably 50, 100 yards away from us, coming towards us. And all of a sudden, the headlights on this car together, they start bouncing up and down. Like they're going 2 or 3 foot in the air, just bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. Like, you see these guys that got the hydraulics on their car. That's kind of what it make you think of. And they kept bouncing, and they bounced right off the road, right on down the riverbank, right on it, towards the river. And we thought a car had crashed. So we got up there and got out, and there's absolutely nothing. We couldn't see a thing. And we even came back that next morning and looked again and couldn't find anything. I have no explanation for that at all.
That sounds like you saw like what they call ghost lights. you know, where maybe you were in the area where there may have been an accident at one point and you're seeing it, you know, play out again. If you believe in that kind of thing, I do,
Well,
but I don't know.
I don't know. And like, again, I'm not saying, you know, that it was anything paranormal. I'm saying I don't know what it was, but I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, I told you I was always telling my daughter, a lot of times there can be an explanation for these things. And if I can give you an example of that, I was working here in North Carolina, and me and another guy are in the car. We're driving through town, and it's duskish. You know, there's still plenty of daylight left. We see, you ever seen a baby penguin on one of these nature shows? You know, this dirty light brown collar, about a foot high or so.
Yep.
We see this critter running across the road, and it looks like, I mean, it's the same size and shape of what I would expect a baby penguin to be, and it's about the same color. And we're talking to each other as this thing's going across 4 lanes of traffic. What is that? You see that? What is it? And it hit the curb and fell over, and it was a hubcap. But it just had the perfect wobble that it created that illusion. And if you know, if there had not been that curb there, if it had just been a grassy bank and it went down, we would have went to our grave swearing up and down when we saw some weird little critter run across the road in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect example of
But I don't know what those things were, but they did happen, and I can't explain them.
Yeah.
And I think that's all I got for you, unless you got some questions for me.
Well, you know, just some things that you kind of already answered, like when you felt that hand on you and it said you don't get to go. Did you
I don't know where that came from. I can't, you know, I never really spoken publicly about any of that stuff before. I did put some questions in some kind of website asking if anybody else had ever experienced anything like that, and you know, and all you get's junk. So I don't, you know, and the people that I have shared this with, they're like, well, were you planning on going anywhere? No, you know, I have no idea what was meant by that.
But you did go then, didn't you?
I sure did. Quickly.
Well, I know you said you could smell breakfast. Did you smell, was there any kind of other odor? You know, because a lot of times they associate something mean or evil with like a foul smell.
No,
you know?
I don't recall anything like that. No.
Yeah. Wow. And it was just a one-off incident. You never had any kind of haunted activity in your house, or?
Not that I ever experienced. But I can tell you one more now that I'm thinking of it. My wife's downstairs. If I don't tell you this, she'll never forgive me. We got married in 2011, and we went on our honeymoon to Savannah, Georgia. And we took a tour of the Sorrel Weed House. Are you familiar with that at all? It's supposed to be the most haunted house in Georgia.
No.
And ghost hunters did their first Halloween special from there.
Okay. So
we got married in November. So there's nobody else there. It's my wife and I and the tour guide, and that's it. I had an old flip phone, and I didn't tell her anything. I just started recording as, you know, the tour guide's giving a little history of the house and stuff. Yeah. We got back to the hotel that night. She started listening, and she's like, "Oh my God, we got something." And you can clearly hear a voice as our tour guide is speaking say, "Get off of me." And you can hear the voice continue to talk as the tour guide's talking, but we've never been able to excuse me, make out what else he was saying. I still got the phone, but you know, this is 2011 flip phone, so.
Right. Well, that's awesome though, to pick up an EVP while you're in that haunted location. What? How do you
Yeah.
think they can? How do you think they get to talk through electronics like that, man?
I have no idea. That's above my pay grade.
Same here.
You know, but we sure did. I wouldn't begin to even guess as to how they can do that.
Yeah, I guess where they're, I suppose, an energy. Yeah, they're an energy, and they're traveling through energy. I think you froze up on me. Hey, Ted, can you hear me? All right,
Are you there?
can you hear me now? Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
I'm
you
here.
now. All right, I think we froze up for a second.
Yeah, it happens.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like, I guess where ghosts are energy, you know, they can travel through electrical things or whatever. I know I've had some stuff happen with this show already a few times. Like I'll hear a voice when there's not supposed to be somebody else's voice.
You know, I was trying to catch up because I just found your podcast and I was trying to catch up on episodes, and I was listening to the lady who was worked at the sorority house, the house mother.
Yeah.
And she's talking about the male ghost in there. And I thought, man, what a rotten way to spend eternity as a ghost in a sorority house.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that just be the worst? You know?
Oh, my goodness. All them college girls making all that noise in there. It'd be awful.
Yeah. What a way to go, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Ted, I appreciate you telling me your stories, man.
Well,
shedding some insight of what goes on. I knew you had stuff worth talking about. You try to downplay it, but that's,
well, you know, I listen to these people come on these shows and they talk for hours and they got such good stories, and mine are just, you know, just a little short. This happened. I can't explain it.
well, see, that usually makes the best stuff, because this kind of thing happens to a lot of people and they try to write it off. But when, you know, somebody like you want to come forward and you'll share, hey, well, this happened to me. And then boom, boom, boom. Everybody else wants to start talking about it.
Well, maybe
I do that with.
I'd be interested to know if anybody else got grabbed when they were 6 years old. they're not going either.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you never know what we'll get some kind of feedback. And if I hear anything, I'll try to bring them on the show, or at least shoot you an email and let you know what they're telling me.
Sounds good.
But
Sounds good.
yeah, man, it was good talking to you.
Good talking to you. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
All right. How's it
How
going,
you
man?
doing? Yeah,
I'm
how
doing
about you?
all right. I'm doing all right. Just had a little dinner and settled in after work.
Oh yeah.
Ready to talk about some weird stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. So you up there in North Carolina?
No, I'm in West Virginia. I'm
Okay.
Logan County, down in the coal fields.
I got you.
So how do you know Tommy Ray?
Actually, I met him on Facebook because he was a Bigfoot hunter, and so a buddy of mine, I also met on Facebook, wanted to start like Bigfoot hunting and stuff, and he got me in touch with Tommy, and we just gone from there. So he's a pretty good old dude.
Yeah, he is, man. I like him. I'm getting I had a couple buddies of mine that I used to go to school with. Actually, I had them both on the show already. They asked me about a week ago if I want to go out on a couple of trips with them and start up a group. So I think we're going to get into that this spring a little bit. So I'll probably be posting stuff about that too.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, I only been out maybe 3 times. Now, the first one I went out was by pure pure chance. I mean, we was up in have you ever heard of the Brown Mountain Lights, North
Oh
Carolina?
yeah.
We was up there at Brown Mountain, and I used to go there when I was little all the time with my parents, and it used to be like overlook. And also, I took the wrong road and went up the other side of Brown Mountain. It was on I want to say a little ATV trail or something. And we was on top of the mountain, and well, my truck was a 2x4, not a 4x4. So we parked it and actually got off. I'm thinking it's only, maybe a mile down the trail or something. But it started getting dark, so we turned around, come back to the truck, and I started walking fast. I heard something behind us. I said, "Stop for a minute." And I told the person I was with, I'm like, I want to try something. Walk slow and stop. We walked slow, stopped, and we got, walk a little faster and stop. And whatever's behind us, it mocked us the same. I mean, it done everything the same. And you was asking about smell earlier. It had a pungent smell. That's how close it must have been to us.
Yep.
And we kept on walking, and it's a smell you'll never forget.
What did it smell like?
That's hard because I caught the whiff of it. It not really like a wet dog, but almost like a wet dog type deal. It stunk. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
But we was probably like 10 yards from the truck, and I said, let's go a little faster, get onto the truck. And and by then, doing those little tests I was doing, walking fast, slowing down, walking fast, it was following us. And I started getting excited. I kind of knew what it was.
Yeah.
And the person I was with didn't have a clue, so I didn't want to say nothing to them. And like I said, when I parked my truck on top of that mountain, it's a little ATV trail out, which I didn't know. So there's I had to park it on the side of the mountain, almost like a little parking area. Mm-hmm. And that thing come up behind us, walked two-legged. I swear, on the side of the mountain, walked two-legged, got up in front of my truck. When I hit my lights, I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there.
Man.
And that's the first encounter I ever had, and that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure that got you hooked.
Yeah. Well, that one really did. But growing up, my daddy used to travel all through North Carolina as a salesman, and he used to tell me all kinds of stories that his customers would tell him about Bigfoot. And I was a little kid then, but then that happened to me. I'm like, oh man. Then probably about a year or so ago, I actually went out into a field with somebody. When it's about right now, getting darkish. We started a campfire. Didn't really hear too much. Heard some I say dogs, or not really coyotes, but like a dog sounds way off in the distance. Mm-hmm. And the fella I went out with, cluing me in, that's what they do. A lot of times they mock animals or dogs.
Yeah.
And we let the fire die down, and then you really hear something. It sounded to me like somebody belly crawling. Not just one. It sounded like a couple of them, belly crawling up to, I guess, see what we was doing or something.
Oh wow.
It was wild. And when the fire lit back up, everything got, real still again.
Yeah.
And before it turned nighttime, we was actually walking off the trail a little bit, We saw like trail markers, and this was up there in the Uwari forest. And they said they said that's a hotbed for them up in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that. Man alive.
And yeah,
Are you going back up? Are you going back up there?
I want to get back up there pretty soon. Now I got a sister that lives like 45 minutes from there, if that long. Which I've been trying to talk to her about maybe going up there with me too. So she knows that a little bit, a little bit more than I do.
Is she a believer?
Not really.
Yeah.
She knows I am, and hell, my whole family knows I am. But she's not really. But I point out some things. I'm like, well, next time you're out walking them trails, look for this, look for that. Like little signs that I've always told about. Heard about. See if you don't see something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
great.
But that night on Brown Mountain, like I said, we was on top of that mountain, and we was actually going to see the ghost lights, what they say over the spirit lights.
Yeah. Have you ever seen those?
I'm like, I did when I was little, because like I said, we used to go camping up there all the time when I was little. And they used to take us over there. My mom and dad used to take me and my buddies over there to see them. So I've seen them a couple of times, but as it happened when we went up there that last time, that's why I got lost, and I stopped at a little store. I said, "Oh, it's just right up, if you make a turn here, go right the road, you'll see the National Forest sign to get into it." So that's when we actually winded up on top of the mountain to go down into the valley of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I didn't have a 4x4 to actually get down to the other side. So we started walking just for getting dark. I'm like, well, let's just turn around and go back, because we didn't have any flashlights or anything on us.
Man. That would have been rough, but you don't want to get stuck up there. You might get the wrong kind of light to guide you home with.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't scary to me. Once I've always been into that, the lights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what got me was, like somebody was following. Now I was talking to another person who actually does the hunting or research per se. He said, that was a telltale sign of them actually escorting you on out the park. They didn't want you there.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
When I was in high school, I used to have the same kind of thing happen. We lived in like as much as you can call it community around here. There's a bunch of houses around. One side's the river or creek, and the other side's the mountain. But there's a bunch of houses in that little community. I lived in a little trailer up beside the mountain, and we'd go to school in the morning. It'd still be dark, and walking all the way down that, it was about a 100-yard driveway you had to walk out of, and over there on that mountainside, me and my brother would hear something walking, just like you're talking about. It would pace us, and if we would take off running, it would take off running. If we stopped dead in our tracks, you could hear like one or two steps, and then it would stop. So we would try to trick it, but we never did get to see what it was. Bigfoot wasn't even on my mind back in the 90s. I believed in it, but I figured that's a Northwest problem. I didn't think about Bigfoot, but and it was that same mountainside that I heard some crazy screams and stuff when I tried to go squirrel hunting with my stepdad one year. I really think that they do pace with us. I don't know what their intention is, or if they're just trying to see how close they can get or what. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, man, for sure.
I've always heard they're real curious of us.
Mm-hmm.
That they like to watch us.
Yeah.
There's some other people I've talked to that they'll get up near us, but yet you can't see them because they're so well camouflaged, or with their color where they blend in and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was now Brown Mountain stuck out to me more than when I went to Uwharrie. Now Uwharrie, like I said, we had some little this and that's happening, like I said, the belly crawling, and we had some eye shine up there.
Did you?
And yeah, we caught it on camera, which I don't have the camera, but the guy I was with caught it on camera, the eye shine. And one time we was up there, another time, I swear we heard like a big old tree limb, or maybe an old tree just snap. I mean, it was that close to us, and I kind of jumped and looked. I'm like, "What was that?" He said, "Well, that's a tree snapping." I'm like, "Yeah, I know that."
Yeah.
He said, "It could be around here because when we was leaving, going down off that mountain in Uwharrie, I got to look on the ground because at that time I did have flashlights and all that, and like knuckle prints in the trail, like something was squatting down, looking up where was
Really?
that. Yeah,
Man.
that was neat. Now that's just pictures of the trail markers.
You did. I can.
Now that last picture is the grainy picture. That was two trees, and you had like that little outline of a figure there.
Yeah.
We caught that. I think we caught that one the first night we was there. The first time I was there.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like maybe a brush or something, but it was just kind of odd.
That is.
Because they caught that.
Whenever I post this video, I'll share these pictures. I'll add them to our conversation so everybody can see them too.
Okay.
It's definitely, these aren't natural by any means. Somebody or something's looks like they made almost like a lean-to or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And
now, with those Brown Mountain lights, a lot of people, I don't know, do you listen to Sasquatch Chronicles?
I catch them on and off. I mean, I listen to
Okay.
a lot of my podcasts while I'm at work. So
Yep. Well, Wes Germer, he talks about, he's had a lot of people tell him whenever they see a Bigfoot or they have a Bigfoot experience, kind of like what you had up there, that a lot of times people also see orbs of light or balls of light. And that just makes me wonder, those Brown Mountain lights, what if they're connected to Bigfoot, or maybe they always have been?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't know what Bigfoot is. I don't know. There's so many things, man. So many people talk about, a lot of people believe it's a big hairy ape, and a lot of people believe, everything else you could imagine, even, if it's paranormal or an alien or what. But I don't even know what to believe anymore because I'm just confused at this point. I've heard so many people talk about it. I don't even know what to think.
Oh yeah. I mean, I try to pick out, just stay with the Bigfoot stories.
Yeah, and you're right there with those lights too.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think those are? Those
see,
lights?
That's not the first time I've heard stuff about that. I was on listening to a podcast, or actually interacting with the podcast last weekend, and somebody mentioned something about that, about orbs being around. When Bigfoot's around or something, the orbs were floating around, and that's the first time I ever really heard it. Heard somebody talking about it.
Yeah, it gets kind of wild, man. I don't know. I believe in a lot of stuff. Obviously, I do this show. I talk about everything, But one of my first thoughts is, you know, maybe those lights aren't associated with Bigfoot. Maybe that's something else that's checking out Bigfoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, or maybe it's all just a bunch of spirits and we're just seeing shadow figures and ghosts. Who knows, man?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've always heard about Brown Mountain lights. I might have my story mixed up. It was, I think the lights were, I think the Native American men went off to fight a battle or something and never came back. And that was the wise spirits, I think, roaming the mountains looking for them.
Oh wow!
But then again, I can't remember if it's the men coming back from the war, or wherever they went to, and got lost. I mean, I heard both tales of it, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
The true thing of the Brown Mountain lights, but it was pretty wild.
Yeah, I love all those kind of legends, man. And these mountains, you know, these mountains here are so old. You know, Appalachia is like a billion years old or something like that. They say so.
Yeah,
they've seen some stuff. You know what I mean? There's so much room for there to be a creature the size of Bigfoot over here on this side of the country that people don't even realize.
No.
You know, we have a state park here in Logan County where I live at, and it looks like just a little day park, you know, for people to go ride around, and there's a little campground up there in it and stuff. But that park is 4,000 acres.
Wow.
And nobody goes into about 3,000 of them. You know, there's just little hiking trails that maybe 10 people a year might go to some of these places, if that. I doubt even that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's plenty of room for whatever wants to hide here, you know, and that's right here in the middle of the county, not counting stepping off the side of the road and you got nothing but the woods for 10 miles one direction.
Well, down here in South Carolina, I mean, we're right. We're the foothills.
Yeah.
And so we're right maybe 30, 40 minutes to get to the mountains from where I'm at. So it's not hard to get up there, you know.
Yeah.
And they even said there's been Bigfoot's down the lower part of the state of South Carolina.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Well, I know they talked about the lizard man. I know you heard about him, right? The lizard man.
Yes.
Down in Bishopville.
Yeah. Have you had any encounters with that? Or you want to tell the story about the lizard man?
No, I mean, I don't know the whole story. I've never been to Bishopville. I've been by there, but I've never really been to it. But I think they said the first tale of it was back in either late 80s or in the 90s, where a guy was changing his tire on the side of the road and that creature popped up and come after him.
Yeah, man.
And then I was watching something on YouTube, some creature show on YouTube, and they was talking about interviewing a lady and her husband where that thing just destroyed the front of their car. Like it come to their house and just tore the whole front of it up and all that crazy stuff.
Man.
But yeah, I told Tommy, I said, hey, we gotta go down there too. I said, if we don't get this thing going, let's go down there too.
That's it. Yeah, I come down to South Carolina about once a year. I do the typical West Virginia move, man. We come down there from Myrtle Beach.
Oh yeah, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, right in the middle of summer. Right, well, usually like the first week or so of August, we come down there and hang out for a little while and act like we know what we're doing on the beach, and then we go back to the mountains and hide. You know?
You ever come around Spartanburg, Greenville area?
You know, I don't think so. I'm not real familiar with anything off that main drag, but
okay.
I'm up for a road trip from while I'm down there. We're going down there. I think it's the second week of summer or of August this year. Maybe you can show me around or something, man.
Yeah, well, I'll get Tommy at help out too. I mean, him and Josh, we'll show you around a little bit.
That'd be awesome. But if we go up
Oh, yeah.
Brown Mountain, you better take a 4-wheel drive if we go up there, man.
I know Josh has got a 4-wheel drive. I'm not sure. I don't think Tommy's got a car.
Does he?
So I'll jump in piling Josh's truck.
Hey, that'd be fine with me, but that'd be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be something to do.
Yeah, it would. I've been wanting to go back up to Brown Mountain anyway.
Yeah. Now, have you and
Because
Tommy gotten together yet?
I've been to his house a few times, but we hadn't actually gone out yet.
Yeah.
But about 2 weeks ago was all supposed to meet up and go out, but I had that COVID test done for safe reasons, so I couldn't make that trip. But when I was told they went to spy some potential areas,
Nice.
So hopefully we're gonna all get together. I'm hoping the next couple of weeks just to get out, go see them, and try to track something.
Heck yeah, man. You guys gotta let me know. Let me know if you see anything, or call me while you're out if you have cell phone service. Holler at me.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah, last time I talked to Tommy, he said he was coming up with a name for the group. He wanted to do something fun with it. He's a hoot. I like talking to him. Last time I talked to him, he was working security for a little while, so he had a little bit of downtime to talk.
Oh boy, let me tell you about that place he worked at there. I went up there one time, at nighttime with him, just hang out with him.
Yeah.
This is no lie. I don't know what it was. It could be the wind. It could have been something else, but they was building storage units, and we parked up on the one where that hadn't been finished yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sitting out on chairs up under it. I swear, on the backside of the building, sounded like somebody was taking hammers all the way up and down the whole building.
Nuh-uh.
And then they was sitting there again, and it sounded like somebody was walking on the gravel, and there was nobody there. And then I looked at each other. He said, I told Tom, I said, what was that? He said, what'd you hear? I'm like, I heard somebody walking. He said, I did too. And there was nobody there. I mean, we walked the whole area. There was nobody there. And, it was out there just shooting stuff. And there was like a trailer where guys kept their tools in.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to look up. I saw a shadow person peek their head around that trailer. And I'm like to fell at my chest. I said, Tommy, look at there. I don't know if he saw it or not, but we circled that trailer just to make sure there was nobody there messing with us.
Man, he told me that place was haunted, man, and you just confirmed it right there.
Dude, I mean, that was the first time I was up there too. I mean, I went up there like 2 or 3 other times, but that was the first night I was up there, and that happened. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man.
Then the second time, this is wild. I mean, the second time I was up there, it was like a clear night. Tommy, he's a survivalist or whatever. He knows the stars and all that. He was out there, explaining to me about the stars, the shape of, how you find your way home and all that. We get looking out toward, this is on up past Spartanburg. So we was looking out direction back towards Spartanburg. I looked at Tommy and I said, look up in the sky. Tell me what you think that is. It was a ball of light that was jumping around all over. Wow. I'm like, that's no airplane. I said, that's no airplane. And that has no helicopter, meteorites, or nothing. I said, I don't know what that is. We stood out there probably about 10, 15 minutes watching that thing. Really? It was jumping around. Yeah. It was wild. If you talk to him again, ask him.
I will. I want to ask him about that. I'll probably.
Like I said, that was the second time I was out there with him. I mean, because he was showing me like the constellations and all that.
Yeah.
I pointed out. I said, well, tell me what that is over there. We both looked. And we would seriously watch it about 5-10 minutes, not longer. Little ball of light. I say little, but I mean, far away was a little. Moving up and down. I mean, it went down and back up like, it wasn't an airplane. You could tell that.
Yeah.
But it was something neat. Then we
Man.
walked back under the shelter and waited for a little bit to come back out. And it was gone by then.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty neat.
That is neat, man. You got all kinds of stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
Was that your first time seeing a UFO? You're out there in flatter country. You probably get a good sky view.
Well, actually, I live in kind of like the city. It's kind of hard for me to see anything. But I tell you one other time I thought I saw something. I was on my way up to Greenville one day, and with a friend of mine, and we was on Highway 29 to go to 85, and to get on 85 you had to go up under a bridge. And this was like broad daylight, and we was driving, and something hit me in the eye, like the reflection.
Yeah.
I looked up, I saw like a cylinder looking shape. It's sitting in the sky. I smacked the person beside me. I think I left the bruise. I got so excited. I'm like, look at there. And they saw, I mean, our eyes, wide open. My mouth done hit, done drop. Their mouth dropped. By the time I went under the bridge to come back to get on 85, the thing was gone.
Man.
And that's the only other time I seen anything like that.
Was that daytime or nighttime?
No, that was daytime.
I thought so.
That was like,
if you could see it like that, that's, man,
yeah.
I wish I could see that. I had one good UFO experience, and it was probably enough to make anybody a believer, but I didn't get to see, the shape of the craft, and it wasn't in the daytime. I want to see something touch down on a football field somewhere on the 50-yard line. You know what I mean? I want to see this stuff, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, those are the only two like UFO encounters I've ever had. I mean, and it was just pure chance. One of them, I was out there with Tommy, was just look at the sky. Just show me the constellations and stuff, and that little ball started dancing around. I'm like, whoa, man! So that's something there. And then that second one, like I said, something, and like a glare, like hit me in the eyes. Like off a shiny object. I looked up and there was something up there. I'm like, holy man. And that was wild.
See, you guys go out there just to shoot the breeze and you're seeing ghosts and UFOs. Imagine when you're actually out there trying and you got the equipment and you're ready. It's hard to tell what you guys are going to wind up catching, man. On top of looking for Bigfoot. I think you're in a primo spot for all that stuff.
I'm hoping. I mean, like I said, we're only like Brown Mountain from my house is probably maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Tops. But we're still in that area where it could be a real good day trip or even an overnight trip, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of excited, kind of wanting to get on out there,
Yeah. Now, if you go out there to Brown Mountain, would you stay the night over there?
I think I would. I think I really would. I mean, just not really to see if I could see Bigfoot or anything, but to see those lights again, I would. I'd like to see those again. I mean, that was pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real mystery too. That blows my mind. Now, you got to forgive me. I want you to, if you don't mind, talk about it again. That that Bigfoot up there, where you were getting like stalked, or maybe I shouldn't say stalked. That sounds scary. You were getting.
No, I think that's what it was.
You were getting followed. We'll say that, or you were getting followed. And before it come around to your headlights, could you see it get up on two legs? And
no, I didn't. Like I said, I didn't see nothing. I mean, when it was following us, it was walking on two legs. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
a deer or a bear or anything like that. I mean, this thing was keeping stride or pace, you know, when we was walking.
Yeah.
It was walking upright. And I don't know how close it got to us. I mean, it got close enough I could smell, that scent, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, but by the time we got to my truck, you know, like I say, it went like almost up and around my truck. But once I hit the lights, I couldn't see nothing.
Man, see, that drives me wild. Like, how do they disappear like that? You
I don't know.
I don't get it. And or you'll see pictures on on the internet of what has to be tracks. You know, there's no other explanation for it. And then they just stop in the middle of a field. Like, what the hell's going on, man? You know?
Yeah, I know.
Where'd that go?
I know. I mean, that's one thing I hadn't really seen yet as a track, other than up there in Uwari, where I saw like you know, a hand imprint when somebody somebody was squatting. That's the only track I ever saw. I mean, I didn't see, which surprised me because I stood there for a minute to shine my flashlight, see if I saw any foot tracks. But it was just like a couple of hand, you know, like knuckle prints in the ground.
Man.
And I'm like, that's weird. I said, I told the person I was with, I'm like, these are like knuckle prints, but I don't see no like feet prints or anything.
Yeah.
So now that was pretty strange.
Yeah, that would trip me out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I
definitely.
Huh?
I was gonna say, yeah, definitely holler at me, man, when you guys go up there.
Oh, we will. We will. Cause I mean, last time I think we're all excited to do it, to go up there to finally have some people we trust. You know.
Yeah.
And I know Tommy's been doing it for a while. Then I think he got out of it for a little bit until me and Josh kind of stirred the pot a little bit more. And, I tried to get him back into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And so he's excited too.
Yeah, man. It is exciting, and that's kind of what these guys did with me. I told them that I used to be really into ghost hunting and stuff when I was stationed down in Louisiana. And I came home and I did a little bit around here, and I had them on the show and they're talking about, a possible Bigfoot encounter or something, maybe 15 minutes from my house. And they're like, man, you need to go out with us. And I was like, yeah, man, that sounds good. And then I had, I got some complications with my shoulder and stuff. I'm doing physical therapy for it. And I just wasn't really able to get out. And then COVID hit, all this COVID stuff went nuts up here in West Virginia. We were late to the game, but man, it really broke loose here. We got a lot of elderly people here. So it seemed like everybody was getting infected or scared of being, infected. So now that it's warming back up and everybody's bored with this whole COVID scare, it's been a year, I think we're going to go for it, man. And they're making t-shirts up, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So I'll let you know too.
It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, I think one of the names Tommy was talking about was having your name or your podcast name in it. I don't know if he talked to you about that or not.
Yeah, he ran it by me. I was like, hell yeah, man. I'm all for it. Use it. Go with it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's what we I think actually that's what we decided on. Was I can't remember Tommy. I'll let Tommy do all the thinking and talking, about it, but I know the bump's in there. I won't say Carolina bump.
Nice.
I won't say Bigfoot, something I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
dude, that's an honor. I appreciate that, man. That's cool.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. He's the one that brought it. He's the one that actually thought about it, or thought about the name.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, anything's good with me.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's where I'm at. Like the guys I'm going out with, we're not going to call ourselves Bump. It's it's not my baby. It's Southern West Virginia Cryptid Investigations, I think is what it's called. And I'm just I just want to be part of something. I'm all about it. As long as they let me share videos of it and talk about it,
Oh yeah.
I'm all. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Alan, is there anything else you want to talk about, brother, before I hop off here?
No, that's pretty much the only encounters I've really had. That
Well, they sound pretty.
I thought was kind of neat and interesting.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. I appreciate you coming on and talking to me about it. It'll be a few weeks before I get this out.
Well, that's cool.
I've been blessed to have a few people reach out to me. So I'm just trying to put everybody in line and, do it as they come in. That way I'm not, being mean or skipping anybody.
Oh yeah. Well, keep up the good work, man. I like your podcast.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I get discouraged sometimes.
I listen to no, man. I listen to it every time you get something new out.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
You're welcome, man.
Well, Alan, holler at me. If I come down this August, I'll holler at you. Okay.
That's cool. Cool deal.
Maybe we'll have a beer or something.
Oh yeah. That sounds good.